Now, coming towards the detailed view of constructive solid geometry modeling. What is CGS basically? CSG. CSG modeling is a powerful technique basically that allows more flexibility than primitive instancing. As we have discussed, that primitive modeling or primitive instancing is basically the construction of a complex object, a complex geometry with the help of simpler 3D objects. What are those simpler 3D objects? Those simpler 3D objects means a simple cube, a simple cylinder, a simple prism, or a simple cone or sphere, like all these simple geometric shapes, but they should be 3D. So, all those simple 3D objects that are further combined in such a way that they can create a complex geometry. Those simple shapes, 3D objects, are known as primitive models. And the combination, the way those primitives are combined, is basically comes under the heading of constructive solid geometry. The very well known processes in order to combine those primitive models are called Boolean operations. So, a few basic operations among those include the union, difference, and intersection. Difference is also known as or written as a name of subtraction in few contexts. So, let me show you figure 4.4 first. Even here you can see in figure 4.3 that in order to create a camera, you need to define geometric primitives in addition as a first step. So, this is also known as additive modeling, where you just only add primitive models. Like you can see, in order to create a simplest model of a camera, you need a help of a cylinder. It's a separate part. Then a block of certain measurements in terms of height, width, and length. Another block with different height, width, and length, and a wedge. And the addition of or the arrangement of all those primitives will make you a complex geometry. Likewise, if you see on figure 4.4, here is 4.4. The three Boolean operations, union, intersection, and difference, are very well defined over here, like this. This is basically constrained solid geometry modeling. The previous one was only additive modeling, where you are just only attaching or sticking the primitives. That is basically additive modeling. The advanced version, or you could say additive modeling, doesn't work everywhere. You need to go for constrained solid modeling, and for that, you need to take the help of Boolean operations. Like for in this view, you can see this is a wireframe model. And in this wireframe model, you can see a block is here with certain height, length, and width. And there is a cylinder of certain measurements, but they have been added or combined in such a way that a portion of cylinder and a portion of block are basically overlapping or submerging into each other. So, how those Boolean operations work in that case? First come first is the union operation. As you remember from your basic information, that union is the combination of all the information. So it's A union B. A is the block and B is a cylinder. So when it comes to union, it means the combined section, the combined portion of block and cylinder will be appeared only one time, whereas the whole remaining whole portion of the block and cylinder will be there along with it. Right? So this is your union. Whereas in case of difference or subtraction, when it is written over here, A minus B means B is going to be subtracted as a whole from A. In subtraction, this is very much, very much important that which letter or which number is written on the first side and which is written on the second. So, if B is written over here, means B is going to be subtracted as a whole from A. As a whole, A is in the form of a block, and when you are going to subtract B from A, as B is the cylinder, the part of B which is combined or overlapping the portion of A is also going to be subtracted. So the shape appear will be like this. Third one is the intersection. Intersection always indicates the common part. So the common part of both cylinder and block is only this section, this portion. So when you will apply the intersection properties, you will last or ended up with only this section. Let me show you another case when it will be B minus A. The whole cylinder will be remain, but the portion of the cylinder which is submerged basically or which is covering the area of the block will be subtracted and the end result will be look like this. This is B minus A basically. The part which was including the block as well is being subtracted and the remaining is this. So these are a few Boolean operations that are very much necessary in case of constructive solid geometry modeling.